Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're all about getting you up to speed on some pretty fascinating ideas, and I think you're really going to enjoy where we're headed today. We're diving deep into the world of personality assessments, those tests and quizzes that promise to reveal hidden truths about who we are.
Yeah, there's a ton of them out there, some more insightful than others.
Mm.
We've been focusing on one in particular that uses some pretty sophisticated analytics, the RutherfordINTEL.io personality assessment app.
It's all about peeling back the layers and getting a clearer picture of yourself. And that idea, that core concept of self-awareness, that's where the real magic happens, right?
It's not just some self-help fad. It's fundamental, really. When you genuinely understand yourself, well, it just opens up so many possibilities.
That's what we're going to explore in this deep dive, how understanding your personality can be so powerful. We'll also talk about the importance of community, how that plays into personal growth, and then we'll take a close look at one specific personality type from the Rutherford Intel system, the social or inclusive personality.
Sounds good to me. Let's start with why this whole self-awareness thing is so important. The resources we've been digging into really emphasize that it's the foundation for growth, both personally and professionally. It's kind of the cornerstone of Rutherford International's philosophy.
Yeah, it just seems logical, doesn't it? If you don't really know your strengths and weaknesses, those areas where you shine and where you tend to trip up, how can you actually focus on improving?
Right, you're just kind of wandering around in the dark.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that knowing yourself better, like really understanding your personality, can have a huge impact on so many areas of your life. For you listening right now, this could mean feeling more confident, having better relationships, and even excelling in your career. It's about making choices that truly align with who you are.
The research backs that up. Improved interpersonal skills, stronger relationships, better decision-making. It all stems from that deeper understanding of yourself.
It makes you a better communicator, helps you navigate those tricky relationship dynamics, and gives you a clearer sense of how your actions impact those around you.
And that translates into stronger leadership skills, too. Even if you don't see yourself as a leader in the traditional sense, self-awareness helps you recognize your strengths and how you contribute to a team, and it also helps you spot the strengths in others.
It's about fostering trust, building credibility, and resolving conflicts effectively, no matter what your role is. And let's not forget the career benefits. Knowing your personality can help you find work that truly resonates with you, leading to more job satisfaction and ultimately greater productivity.
When your career is in sync with your values, that's when you really hit your stride, and it often leads to more opportunities for advancement as well.
I was also struck by how self-awareness can boost your intuition. The more in tune you are with yourself, the better you become at recognizing potential in situations and in others.
It's like you develop a sharper sense of what's going on beneath the surface.
And it can help you stay more optimistic in the face of challenges. You're better equipped to identify those blind spots that can sometimes trip us up. So much good comes from really knowing yourself. Now, there's another piece of this puzzle that we need to talk about: community. The idea that our personal growth is amplified when we connect with others.
Yeah, that's a big part of what Forbes Rutherford and Rutherford International are all about. Their mission is to create a world of mutually supportive professionals where everyone feels empowered to reach their full potential.
It's like creating a network of people who lift each other up and inspire each other to grow.
And the RutherfordINTEL.io app is designed to do just that. It's not just a one-off assessment. It's meant to cultivate a community through these specialized affinity groups where you can connect with like-minded individuals.
It's powerful, When you surround yourself with people who are also on a path of self-discovery, that's when things really start to click.
Right. You can share your experiences, learn from each other, and get support from others who understand what you're going through.
It all comes back to that phrase Rutherford International uses: endless possibilities. When you understand yourself and you're connected to a supportive community, well, the possibilities truly do feel endless. You're more likely to make choices that are authentic to you and to create a life that's truly fulfilling.
Okay, so we've talked about the why. Why self-awareness and community are so important. Now let's get into the how. How does the Rutherford Intel system actually help us understand ourselves and others?
Right, let's talk about those 4 personality quadrants. I'm curious to hear more about how they break it down.
Sure. So the Rutherford Intel system identifies 12 core personalities, and to make it a little easier to grasp, they've grouped those personalities into 4 quadrants: leadership, intellectual, interpersonal, and productive. It's like a big picture framework for understanding personality types and their tendencies.
So it's a way of seeing the common threads that connect certain personality styles. And within each quadrant, you have three distinct personality types. For this deep dive, we're focusing on the interpersonal quadrant, right? The one all about how we relate to and connect with other people.
Exactly. And within that quadrant, we have the altruist, the social, and the individualist, each with its own unique set of characteristics.
Okay, let's zoom in on the social personality, also sometimes referred to as the inclusive personality. I'm really intrigued by this one because they just seem so full of life and energy. What are some of their defining traits?
Well, they're definitely outgoing, like big time. They love connecting with others, being around people, and they just radiate this cheerful, vibrant energy.
Yeah, the descriptions we've seen really highlight their zest for life and their playful sense of humor. They're often quick-witted, sometimes a little bit satirical, but always with a good heart.
They're also really good at making people feel comfortable and valued. They're accepting of others, easy to get along with, and they make you feel like you matter.
It's almost like their outgoing nature becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? They're so fun to be around, and they genuinely seem to like almost everyone, so people are naturally drawn to them. And all that social interaction doesn't drain them. It actually energizes them. They come alive when they're connecting with others. It's like their fuel.
And you see that reflected in how they approach relationships. They're sociable, connection-oriented, always up for trying new things, meeting new people. They bring a lot of excitement and positivity to their relationships.
Yeah, it sounds like they create this really warm and inviting atmosphere, but there's also a surprising depth to them, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Beneath that outgoing exterior, they're actually quite sensitive, emotionally attuned to what's going on around them, even if they don't always show it.
So they might seem like they're effortlessly navigating those social situations, but they're actually picking up on all the subtle cues, those unspoken feelings and tensions.
And that sensitivity, combined with their natural spontaneity, can sometimes make them a little unpredictable. They might be laughing one minute and then get teary-eyed the next. Their emotions can be pretty close to the surface.
It's like their internal filter isn't always working over time. Thoughts pop into their heads and boom, they're out there. But it's rarely meant to be hurtful. It's just part of their quick, unfiltered way of expressing themselves.
Right. They don't overthink things. They just say what's on their mind.
And that kind of authenticity can be refreshing. You always know where you stand with them.
So lots of positives when it comes to their personality and their relationships. But what about the potential impact on their health and well-being?
Yeah, that was a really interesting part of the research. It seems like being so outgoing can have both benefits and drawbacks.
Definitely. On the plus side, studies have shown that social personalities tend to be happier when they're acting socially. There's a strong link between their level of social engagement and their overall mood.
Which makes sense, considering how energized they feel by social interaction. But what about their physical health?
Well, there's some evidence suggesting that outgoing people might actually have stronger immune systems. It's thought that their greater exposure to germs and microbes, through all that socializing, might actually train their immune systems to be more effective.
Wow, so being a social butterfly could actually keep you healthier. Who knew?
But there's some potential downsides, too. For example, even though social personalities get energized from being around people, all that stimulation can make it harder for them to wind down at night.
So they might be more susceptible to sleep deprivation.
Yeah, which can affect their alertness and reaction times, especially after a lot of social interaction. And then there's the connection to eating habits. Research suggests that extroverted individuals in general might be more prone to impulsivity and seeking immediate gratification, and that can extend to food choices.
Especially in social situations where there's often more temptation.
Exactly. It's like that old saying, misery loves company, but in this case, it might be more like overeating loves company.
That's a good one. But seriously, it seems like being aware of these tendencies is really key for social personalities.
It is. Knowing that they might be more vulnerable to sleep loss or overeating in certain situations can help them make more conscious choices and take steps to protect their well-being.
So to wrap up our deep dive into the social or inclusive personality, we've discovered someone who is outgoing, cheerful, thrives on connection, and has a surprising depth of sensitivity. They draw energy from social interaction, which can be a boon for their mental and even physical health. But they might also need to be mindful of the potential downsides, like sleep deprivation and overeating.
And it all circles back to that core concept of self-awareness. Recognizing these patterns can empower social personalities to make choices that support their overall well-being.
So for those of you listening, if you're curious about your own personality, we encourage you to take the RutherfordINTEL.io assessment. It's a great way to gain those insights and unlock a deeper understanding of yourself.
And if you're in a relationship, consider having your partner take it too.
Hmm.
Knowing each other's personality types can strengthen your bond and help you navigate those relationship ups and downs with more empathy and understanding.
We'll leave you with this thought. Take a moment to reflect on your own social interactions. Do you find them energizing or draining? Do they influence your eating habits or sleep patterns? Exploring these questions can be a really valuable step on your journey of self-discovery. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Until next time.